My name is Morgan Knowlton. I am 20 years old and I am a junior at Southeastern University. I've always gone to Disney ever since I was little, and I've always wanted to work there because that's just such a magical place. I've always loved Disney growing up. I would come home from school, elementary school, and I would get my Belle dress on and I would walk around the house singing Beauty and the Beast with my little Belle doll that I had. So it was just a natural transition for me to want to work at Disney as a character. I actually saw a Facebook post that Disney posted with a link to an audition calendar, and they actually have a website called disneyauditions.com, and they have a calendar of all the auditions, not just in Florida, but of all the Disneys around the globe. They do require you to bring a resume and headshot. The particular audition I did also required a monologue because it was a stage performance. So they did have to know if you sound like the character, if you can act like the character with the particular voice they're looking for. So I did have to prepare a monologue. When we first got there, it was actually pretty hard to find it because it's the Animal Kingdom wardrobe. So it's not something you would think about, but it was pretty hard to find, and we were able to find a parking spot. And there were actually not a lot of people there because I got there about an hour early. So they had started a line. I was maybe like between the 30s and 40s in line. And then the line, they kept just lining everybody up. And then right at the time, like right at noon, they started checking in people. And you line up at a table where they check you in, they collect your resume and headshot. They have you sign a waiver saying that you know what you're doing, you're auditioning, they have a right to keep your headshot and use it for further use. And then they give you a number, and then you just hang out and wait around until they start the audition. So when they did start the actual audition process, they called 1 through 50 up, and they lined you up in the big room. Everyone else continued to mingle and just hang out. And then once 1 through 50 were lined up and in order, they led us back into a very small dance studio room, and they had us all get in lines. And the main guy who was actually doing the auditions, he stood up in front of everyone. There was a table there in front of the mirrors, and he stood up and he said,
"Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to be smiling at all times. You never know when I may be looking at you. Also, most of you will not make it today. We need an exact match."
The guy who is actually doing the audition, he has your resume, and under your resume is your headshot. And a lot of times he'll look at you as you smile, and then he'll look at your resume. And a lot of times they look for if you are currently a Disney cast member. At that point, it was really intimidating because there were a lot of people and you didn't really know what to do. So it was kind of awkward because you didn't talk at all, you didn't interact at all. You just stood there silently and smiled for 5 minutes. That's all you did. At the very end, once he looked at the last person, he takes a few minutes to look at his list to see what numbers he has, and he kind of looks again, you're still there just smiling. At this point, a lot of people are talking because he's done, so a lot of people are talking to each other. And then he'll stand up and,
If I call your number, that means you've made it to the next round. Number 17, 30, 48, and number 50. If I haven't called your number, thank you very much for participating, and we appreciate your time. Have a good day.
Better luck next time.
I was a little disappointed because I worked so hard on my monologue and I didn't even get to do that. But it was a little down-putting because you didn't make it. They didn't think I matched the character, which is their call. It had nothing to do with me personally because they didn't know me personally. They just judged you on your smile and how you looked.
Are you gonna try out again?
I do plan on auditioning again. Once I kind of graduate from college and I get a more open schedule, I definitely do plan on auditioning again. And even if I audition 7 times, because it's still good experience for auditioning and you get to meet some cool people, and it is a networking opportunity. So they see you that you're dedicated, that you keep coming back. I definitely say to keep trying if you really want it. The best way though to get into Disney is to first get into Disney with just a simple job. It's within the hotels, within just the parks, and then work your way up into entertainment. Because a lot of Disney is who you know. So by first getting a job there, with any type of business, food, service, anything, and then you get to know people and you work your way up and you continue auditioning. So I just love Disney. So
So after them cutting it, you still like this?
Mm-hmm.